Hey, good afternoon. This is Leslie from GoToKitchens.com. And as you can see, Splat is in the photo. So that means, hey Mark Shaw, that means that it is cooking in the kitchen. That's what we're doing today. Hey everybody, it's good to see you. There we go. There he is, live, in person, Splat. So you can see that we're in the kitchen today and we are I'm going to make you guys, we've been talking about the basics of cooking all week, and so that light is really bright. And so I'm actually going to, make you guys a very special, simple dinner. The deal with this particular dinner is, I know it's not dinner time, but I'm just going to put it in the fridge and my husband and I will have it tonight. So, but the deal with this dinner is that it is so simple, and it's good to see you, Becca. It's so simple and it's so nutritious and it's so good for you and super balanced, and we're going to talk about how easy it is to make something like this. You're going to use 2 skillets. You could actually do it in 1 skillet, but for time's sake, we're actually going to use 2 skillets today so that we're not on here forever talking about how to do that. So that's what we're going to do today. Let me introduce myself. My name is Leslie. I have a website, GoToKitchens.com. There is nothing for sale over on that website. You cannot buy a thing. If you want to buy something from me, you can't buy anything. The only thing I want you to buy is I want you to buy into your own health. So yes, so it's good to see you guys here. I'm going to ask you one time, if you will, please, that little ball-headed, I almost said blonde-headed, that little ball-headed guy right down there in the corner, if you please just tap that and share out to your followers and onto Facebook and onto Twitter. That would be awesome. Thank you guys so much for doing that. It's good to see everybody here today. Happy Friday to you. I am happy to be here. Oh, look at that, filling up the room. That's good. It's good to see you. Thank you. Thank you, Janie, for inviting followers. Thanks, everybody. Hello from London town. Do you mean like the real London, or is there a London town for reals? Thank you so much, Jess, for inviting followers. Very, very good. Yes. So this is a super quick meal, and I got to turn down this light because it's just too bright. It's like in my face bright. So let me turn that down just a smidge. I feel like it's like, pshoo, bright light. Is that better? That's better. All right. Yes. Have a good weekend. What are we making then? Everybody wants to make something, right? Are pickles healthy? Some pickles are healthy. Fermented pickles are super healthy for you. Absolutely healthy. I'm going to introduce you to Splat. This is Splat. Anytime you see Splat come up at the beginning of my scopes, you know that we are cooking in the kitchen. He is my friend in the kitchen. Isn't he adorable? I just love him. So we are going to make a chicken. So a chicken, all right. Can't use curse words. I'm sorry. Curse words get you blocked. Just like that. You hate fermented ketchup? I don't think I would like it either, maybe. Yes. So we are going to make a simple boneless chicken breast. We're going to we are going to pan fry it, then we're going to oven bake it so it stays nice and moist. So we're going to put a flash fry on it to seal in the juices, and then we're going to stick it in the oven. And then we are going to make some brown basmati rice, and we're going to make some asparagus. You can see that right over there. And the rice and the asparagus we're actually going to make in one pan. And I've been talking all week about the simplicity of cooking and getting back to basics. It is a great way. It's one of my favorite ways to cook meats. I agree with you completely. And it's super simple. You can do other tasks while your meat is actually cooking. And it's one of my favorite ways to do it because it keeps it nice and juicy. So, yay! Clarissa has chicken in her fridge. These are kind of staples in our house. This is a meal that I make quite regularly. Now, I am not going to spice this up so much. Basmati rice is just actually a long grain rice. It's a much longer grain of rice. Nope, no sauce for the chicken. Can you see that? It is a much longer grain of rice. It is used mostly in Middle Eastern and Indian cooking. And I really like basmati rice. There is no health benefit to it. It's no different than any other kind of rice. It is a little bit longer. Yes, we're going to use a little seasoning in the chicken, and I'm going to give you some tips as well about what you can do to the chicken. We are actually very basic, plain eaters in this house. We do not, we eat normal, I mean, we eat just very basic, nutritious foods, probably 90% of the time, and 10% of the time we eat fancy pants. So that is a lot of calories. Oh my gosh. Good. Okay, but see, you went over your food budget, but you have to cook that food now, Clarissa. You can't leave that food and let it rot in the refrigerator. You actually have to start cooking with it. I cannot wait to get my bangs cut. Everybody, next Thursday, I'm getting my bangs cut, and we can stop messing around with these crazy bangs that just keep falling in my face. Holy cow. Okay. So basically what I'm doing here is I am preheating my skillet. This is an enamel skillet. It is an oven safe skillet. That is going to be super important. Okay, good. Yeah, make sure that you're cooking it. So it's super important that you have an oven safe skillet for this. You do not want to put a skillet in there. Thank you. They just get in my way. They drive me nuts. I tell you, thank you. You guys are sweet. Thank you for saying that. But you want an oven safe skillet. So anything that is non-stick is not going to be oven safe because you cannot heat it over like 300 degrees. And I have my oven preheated at 350 degrees right now. So oven safe skillet, to make sure you have an oven. So this kind of skillet or cast iron or stainless or something like that, just be aware that your handle's going to be hot when you take it out. So don't burn your fingers. Just saying. Not because I've done that. Okay, I've totally done that. But just be super careful when you're taking it back out of the oven. Just saying. So I have this on about a medium high or medium, actually it's a medium low heat, and I'm preheating my olive oil. And I want to make sure that my olive oil, I have about 3 tablespoons of organic olive oil right in the bottom of this. And I want to make sure that it's covering the entire base of the skillet, because when I put my chicken in there, I do not want it to fry. I don't want it to stick. So I know I have totally done that. I swear I have calluses all over my hands because of silly tricks like that. So yeah, don't do that. It hurts. It's very painful, especially when you have a really, really hot stainless handle like this is. So okay, so I have 2 chicken breasts. These are boneless, organic, free-range chicken breasts. And I'm going to put those right down in my skillet. You should get a little bit of a sizzle sound. Now, to prepare my chicken breasts, you see how thin they are? Do you see how thin that is? To prepare my chicken breast for this type of cooking, I've actually used a meat tenderizer like this right here. And I have pounded my chicken a little bit. So not desperately, just getting it a little bit flatter, getting it more even across so it's not like a big thick piece of the breast and a little thin piece of the breast, because when you do that, you're not going to get even cooking. And what I'm looking for is super even cooking. So I have actually beat down the fat part of the breast to make it nice and even throughout. So I get a nice even cook throughout my chicken. Because have you ever cooked the ends of the chicken and that thin part of the breast that is out there gets really crispy and gross, like you can't even eat it, especially when you're grilling. So you want to make it nice and even in the thickness of it so that it cooks evenly. So that's what I've done to that. I'm going to move this aside. So just beat it down just a little bit. Do not beat it up. Yes, I have to cut them as well. Oh, you're in culinary school. I'm so jealous. Totally, totally jealous. Now then, here are some of my tips for this particular chicken. One of my favorite things to do with this chicken is actually to take an organic orange. That's hilarious. Yeah, you don't want to tear it to shreds. Just lightly on both sides, just to get it a nice even thickness across. And that's why you do that, especially with chicken. So if I were cooking this for maybe guests or something like that, I would probably take a little bit of orange zest and make a orange zest right on the top of this right before I put it in the oven. But because it's just my husband and I'm just going to do a little salt and pepper. Actually, I do a lot of salt and pepper, and I only do it to one side. I don't do it to both sides. I just do it to one side. and a little garlic salt, so just a little bit of garlic salt. You could use some cayenne. You could use a fresh bay leaf in here when it goes in the oven. However you want to do that, absolutely perfect. And I'm going to use a little bit of pepper. So you can season this chicken to your little heart's desire. Whatever you want this chicken to taste like, you can use on the chicken. It's that simple. So easy. Why only one side? That's a good question, actually. Okay, see how hold on just a second, I'll answer that question. So see how my chicken did not stick at all? That's because the olive oil was covering the whole bottom of the pan, and I have allowed it to cook and get a little bit brown. If it sticks to the pan, it's not ready to be turned. So I only season one side because I like when it hits the palate that it's not overwhelming. I don't like for those spices to overwhelm the actual taste of the chicken, and so I only tend to season one side liberally, and I just don't even season the other side because this is going to sit right on top of the rice. So my unseasoned side is actually going to go down on top of the rice. I know I'm a little weird about stuff like that, and it's not going to get those seasonings on the rice because I kind of want separate flavors. I want chicken flavor, I want rice flavor, I want asparagus flavors, and I really don't want my chicken spices to get down onto my asparagus flavors and my rice flavor. So that's why, just super simple like that. Nothing, that's just me personally. It's not like a cooking tip or anything like that. Yeah, I like separate flavors, yeah. And I'm super thoughtful about that when I'm cooking, that we get separate flavors. All right, so I'm gonna let this brown on the other side. Yes, I do. I'm always concerned about flavor profiles. I can get some amazing flavors out of very, very, very simple foods. So yes, so I just like simple flavor profiles, and I like to be thoughtful about it when I'm cooking. So I'm going to let this get brown on the other side just slightly, and I'm going to leave it on that side. So spice side down. Beautiful. They are absolutely gorgeous. And I'm going to stick this in the oven. So you can see there, we have a little bit of browning. You love your flavor Bible. That's cool. Yeah, so we have a little bit of browning, and this is just going to go right into a 350-degree oven. And that it will cook while we make the rest of our meal. It was middle, so probably like a medium heat. Yep, medium heat. So now we have this beautiful big skillet here. This is one of my favorite, medium low, sorry, thank you. This is one of my favorite skillets. I love the size of the skillet. You can see how gigantic it is. I love cooking rice and vegetables in here. It's one of my favorite tools for that. Another thing that you can do to add a different kind of flavor is to add coconut oil as opposed to olive oil. My husband Ashley doesn't like it when I cook with coconut oil, so I use olive oil mostly. And we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to preheat my skillet with about 3 or 4 tablespoons. I want it to coat my basmati rice when I put it in there. So we're going to preheat that just for a minute. This chicken that's in here is going to cook for about 20 minutes. So between 15 and 20 minutes, you just need to check it as you go along. So there you go. So I'm going to coat this skillet. It's going to heat up very quickly because the burner was already hot. Now then, I'm going to introduce you to one of my other favorite kitchen tools. I don't, you certainly could. I found in this skillet it's really not necessary. This skillet heats so quickly, but I found that it's just not completely necessary to do that. But you could, I would recommend that for stainless and cast iron skillets. I would recommend that you preheat the skillet, then put your oil in, and then do the rest. So, but here's one of my other favorite tools. Yeah, no, he does not like coconut oil at all. He doesn't like the way it smells when it's cooking, and he doesn't prefer it in his food either. So, which is sad because I love it, but that's okay. Every once in a while we sneak it in anyway. Sorry, honey. So this is one of my other favorite tools. You can see that it is well used. Look at the edge of that spoon. I use this spoon a lot. Yeah, my husband says he can taste it as well. So he says it has a sweet taste. So But I use this spoon a lot. This is my favorite wooden spoon. It's tiny, so you can see in my hand how small it is. But here's the reason I love it. Look at this other end. It has a little, let me put that over here. It has a small spoon on this end, so a little tiny like teaspoon on this end, and a bigger spoon on that end. So you can get into jars and to other things with this little, I have a garlic jar that I use that I actually press my own garlic and put olive oil with it, and it gets into that little tiny jar that I use. Yes, this is one of my favorite tools in the kitchen. I use it almost every single time that I cook. I love this wooden spoon. It's actually made by Mario Batali, and they still sell them on Amazon. So Mario Batali, beautiful little wooden spoon. I highly recommend it. One of my faves. Sorry, Splat. Yeah, I know. Woohoo! You can find it online. Mario Batali makes this little spoon. It's just a double-ended spoon. There's his name right there if you need to learn how to spell it. Let me see if I can get it to adjust. Will it adjust? Can you see that? No, you can't see it. Ooh, there we go. Yeah. I know. I love this spoon too. It's my favorite. So my skillet is preheated. So in the skillet, I have put 1 cup of basmati rice in with the oil. The same thing that I'm doing with the basmati, you can actually do with quinoa. We talked about this yesterday. We talked about toasting quinoa before you actually cook it so that you don't have to soak it ahead of time. And this is one of my favorite ways to make quinoa as well. And I think it's just super effective for rice and quinoa. It's an amazing way to do it. So I'm going to toast this up. The rice is actually going to get a little bit, instead of the darker kind of brown color that it is, it's actually going to get a little toasty white. And that's how you know that it's done. It will actually kind of start to pop a little bit, and you want that nice toast on that rice. Same thing with the quinoa. The quinoa will actually explode. It'll begin to explode just slightly, a little bit like a risotto style, absolutely. It will begin to explode, except it's not as complicated with timing and everything as risotto might be. But the quinoa will actually explode a little bit, and as they start to explode, it's ready for the liquid. So they'll pop like popcorn almost. Yeah. I have some for real-time cooks in here. Holy cow. I love that I have a culinary student in here. That makes me really happy. I've been taking one-off culinary classes for a while now, and I love them. I love them. I love learning the classic way to cook and to make things, and then putting my own healthy flair right on it. So I do that a lot, actually. So I'm just going to get this in here where I get a nice coating. I miss my gas, when I'm making this, I actually miss my gas stove tremendously. This does really, really well. There you go. 14, I knew it was like 14, 15 bucks. Yeah, it is a great kitchen tool. I swear, you guys, look at, and I'm not kidding, look at the edge of that. You can see how much I've stirred with it. I'm left-handed, and you can see how much I've stirred with it. It used to be perfectly round, and the discoloration. It's a well-seasoned wooden spoon. Yeah, I'm not in love with mine either, at all, at all. No, my electric stove. Gary's getting a gas stove. Not fair, Gary, not fair. You're going to love cooking with it. It's so amazing to cook with a gas stove. I love it, love it, love it. All right, so I'm getting a little bit of a brown. I can't show you guys because my camera is not that detailed. I know, it's so cool. Gary's getting a new house in January, so excited for him. And it has a gas stove. Dang it all. I know, it is annoying. You know, I will tell you what makes a big difference with that is if you get some enamel pans are good conductors of heat. And so... Yes, they have to be good ones. I agree. Yeah, well, I've already cooked for him. I cooked for him last week. So, but if you get a good conductor of heat, like an enamel pan, it actually is a great conductor, and it cooks pretty even on here. So, all right. So I have a little bit of toasting. It will be visible, by the way, when you toast. It will absolutely be visible. You hate your, oh my gosh, I would die. I would kill for your gas stove. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pour a little bit of, well, not a little bit, we're going to pour 2 cups of chicken stock. Yes, it's a great investment. I totally agree. It's a great investment. So 2 cups of chicken stock. I'm going to cool off my pan. Do you see how I'm pouring into my spoon? This helps keep it from splattering. This helps keeps it from splattering. No, not veggie stock. We're actually using chicken stock today. I'm actually out of veggie stock, so I had to use my chicken stock. But this helps it from splattering, this hot liquid splattering back up onto you. Don't burn yourself with the steam. Be very careful. All right. So that is 2 cups of chicken stock right down in the top of that. Super, super fly, super easy. Well, mine is set on a 5, but this is because this pan is a superconductor of heat. You put the lid on it now too as well. This pan is a superconductor of heat, so it goes very, very quickly and it gets hot really, really easy because of the type of pan that it is. It has a copper core in it. And so what was the measure of that? It's a basmati. So this is a long grain brown basmati rice. Yeah. Basmati rice. But this conducts heat really, really well. So mine is on a 5, but you probably, if you're using like a non-stick or stainless or anything like that, you probably want to bump that up a little bit. So yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Duh. So it is 1 cup of basmati and 2 cups of chicken stock right in top there. Yeah. Stupid. Duh. Measurement. I was thinking like the actual type of rice it was. I know. I got it. Duh. Slow on the uptake. Sometimes I turn around and start reading comments and I don't know where you guys are at. So I know. Duh. It's all right. Yes. So that's going to cook there for a little while. You can see that it has a low bubble on it, or a low roll on it. So now that the chicken stock is actually to that, I'm going to lower the heat to my lowest heat setting, which is a 2 on this oven and our stove, and I'm going to let that sit there for a few minutes. Over here, I have already prepared and stemmed this is 1 whole bunch of asparagus. So you can see there, I have just actually, thank you so much for putting in the website, Evan. I have actually just taken the ends off. Asparagus will break naturally. If you put the asparagus in your hand, just like this, and you know, on each end, and you bend it, it will break naturally at where the woody part ends and the soft part begins. So it will do that naturally. So don't be afraid. I just actually just bend and break off all of my asparagus. This is right at the end. I know it is. It's nice, big, healthy asparagus. This is organic asparagus. Asparagus is actually what they call the clean 15. So asparagus, if you're not, I know, I love asparagus too. It's a staple in our house. I call it asparagus. I call it asparagus because it looks like a spear, and I say it's a defense against bad health. So, bad health, go away, bad health, go away. It's an asparagus. Yeah, I call them asparaguses. And it's hard for me to say asparagus nowadays because I've been calling it asparagus for so long. So yes, asparagus is one of the only foods left on the planet that is in its natural state as it was. People that were eating asparagus 2,000 years ago, people that were eating asparagus 2,000 years ago were eating asparagus that looked like this. People that were eating broccoli 2,000 years ago, their broccoli did not look like our broccoli. So asparagus is one of the only foods that is in its natural state, and we still eat it the way that they did a billion years ago. So asparagus is awesome for that. And it's kind of like the ancient veggie. It's so good for you. It's full of vitamins. It's full of minerals. It has antioxidants in it. It's a green veggie. I say eat asparagus at least once a month, or excuse me, once a week, once a month. Holy cow. Eat asparagus once a week. Fit it in somewhere. It is so, so good for your body. So, so good for your body. Yep. So, but yes, and I call it the asparagus. I'm going to look at my chicken. Let's have a look. It is percolating away down there. I'm just gonna let it go. We're gonna do that for a little while. So I'm gonna let about half of the liquid cook off of this. And we are pretty darn close with that right now. I'm gonna go just a little bit longer. I'm gonna let about half the liquid to cook off of this. The reason people don't like asparagus, one of the main reasons people do not like asparagus. Hi, Lexi. I just said it because Gary did. So one of the main reasons people don't like asparagus is because they overcook it and it gets slimy. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't like slimy food. All right, see you. It's good. Thank you for being here, Jess. But I do not like slimy food, and asparagus, when it's overcooked, can get slimy very, very easy and very, very quickly. So you want to be super careful with asparagus because asparagus can get slimy easy. Most vegetables can. When you overcook them, this is why people don't like them. But this vegetable should actually, you can eat it just like this. You can eat asparagus just like this. You do not have to have, it does not have to be cooked. You can eat it just like this. And, oh no. So, and there's no harm in your pee smelling. I mean, honestly, you pee one time and it smells, get over it. It's not a big deal. Holy cow. I can think of way more offensive things than that. So that's right. Remember the Austin Powers? I think it's the first one. When I need to look at this. Yep, we're about ready for asparagus. The first one, when he's peeing into the fountain to simulate the fountain because he's accidentally unplugged it, and he's peeing into the fountain and he eats asparagus and it makes his pee smell. Oh, whatever. He's so silly and funny. So I have my washed asparagus. This is a whole bunch of asparagus. We will actually eat all of this tonight, okay? Can you believe that? You can eat all this food and still be healthy, but we're going to eat all this tonight. And I'm just going to lay this right on top of my rice. About half of my liquid is gone right now to prevent it from overcooking. Oh, look, it's a little baby. Look at the little baby. Little baby asparagus. And I'm just going to spread this out over my rice. Super simple, super easy. Just like that, and I'm gonna recover it. I'm gonna let the rest of the liquid cook out of that. By the time that it is, I put him right back in there. He's in there, he's gonna get eaten too. But by the time that I get, the liquid is cut out of this, yes, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, so easy, right? I mean, Lexi, so easy. So, but by the time that all my liquid is cooked out of this rice, my asparagus will be done. You should, when you bite into asparagus, to know that you haven't overcooked it, it should be crunchy. Yes, steamed asparagus without a separate pan. You could actually cook your chicken ahead of time, leave it in, use the chicken bits because it's going to have little chicken bits, and use the same pan through the whole thing. But because of timing, I did want to do that with you guys. But you could actually cook your chicken in this, put that in the oven, then take your chicken out, put it somewhere where it'll stay warm, then do your rice and veg. It's so simple. You have one pan to clean. It's a one pan meal that is so good for you. Now to this, I would recommend that you add a little lemon to zest it up. So even a little lemon in the rice before you add the asparagus. My husband doesn't like it, so I don't do that, but you could add a little lemon zest in there or a little lemon juice. It's going to really brighten up the rice and give it an amazing flavor to pair with the asparagus and the chicken. The other thing that you can do is add a little ginger to the rice. I love fresh grated ginger. I am a good wife. It's true. I'm not going to deny that, actually. But you can add a little ginger, so grate some ginger, fresh grate some garlic right into that rice. It is going to give you, yeah, but it's true. They're really not, but this one really is. You can actually do a couple of different, I have all kinds of one pan type recipes. Celery seed, cumin, you could do a little paprika, you could do, what else could you do? Fennel would be amazing in there. You can do all type of aromatic spices in this, and I actually like a little nutmeg. I don't know if you've ever had asparagus with a little fresh grated nutmeg on it. so amazing. I have a friend that actually drizzles honey on her asparagus. I don't do that, but you could do that as well. But yes, you could do all kinds of flavors in this. I'm just showing you the very, very basics of this. It's going to be up to you to put the flavors in there that you like. You could do different veggies than this. I actually do this same meal with broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots. That works very well. If you do that, you actually want to put those in there as soon as you put the liquid on the rice. You would put your broccoli, cauliflower, carrots right on top because they take a little longer to cook than the asparagus does. The other thing that you can do is you can do Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts are amazing. You cut them in half and put them down, so flat side down on top of the rice. You want to do that as soon as you put in the liquid as well and make Brussels sprouts this way. You can do 100 different combinations in one skillet. Super, super, super easy. I'm going to look at my chicken again. Yeah, we're doing good. I'm actually going to turn up the heat a little bit right now because I want to get a little bit more browning on there. So I'm going to pump up the heat to 400 for this last 5 minutes of the chicken because I want it to brown. And I'm going to say goodbye to my husband. So you guys hold on just a second. Yeah, it's good to see you. Yeah, I'll talk to you soon, Gary. Good luck with the pest inspection. I know it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Everything's fine. All right, hold on just a second. I love you. I'll see you later.
Goodbye, peeps.
Robin says bye. He has a house call. If you guys don't know, my husband is a clock repairman, and he does house calls on a regular basis. So he's off to do a house call. So, yes. Your smoothie was not enough. Oh no! Are you leaving, Janie? Don't leave, Janie. All right, so really we're just gonna kind of shoot. What is it? Shoot the bull. I think that's what it's called. I know the other one, and I'm not gonna say that one, but yeah. So anyway, now we have to wait because we're in waiting mode. Although that is done, I'm going to move that off the heat actually because it is done. It's going to be fine just sitting there. Oh, you're saying bye to Robin. Okay, bye Robin. Yeah. So yes, so that is actually done. All the liquid is out. I guess I should show you guys. Let me show you. You can see there that I don't have any liquid left in my rice. So I have a little bit, not much though. I don't have any liquid left in there, and I'm left with nice fluffy rice, and it is not done because I can see the liquid. Never mind. I'm putting the lid back on, turning the heat back on for a few more minutes. I have just a tiny bit of liquid, and I want all that to be gone, so yes. So when you overcook your vegetables, you know what happens? Somebody tell me what happens when you overcook your vegetables. Anyone? There goes Edison. I know, you have to look at it, right? And that's how you know. Silly me. Cooking live sometimes is crazy. You lose nutrition. Yes, you get mush. All of those things. You lose nutrients. Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. No nutrients. Bingo, bingo, bingo. Yes, nutritional loss. You guys are spot on correct. So when you overcook your vegetables, what happens is you lose all the nutrients into whatever cooking method. They taste bad, right? They're mushy. Who wants that? They don't have any flavor. This is what happens when you get canned vegetables. So when you buy vegetables in a can, I don't have any to show you. This is my can of vegetables because I do not buy any vegetables in a can. So when you buy vegetables in a can, what happens is to get them to a state where you can actually eat them, they have cooked them to death, first of all. They have cooked them to a point where they're really mushy. And second of all, they have re-added all the sugar and salt and all the other things back into the flavor of the vegetables because they have to sit on a shelf. So in order for them to sit on a shelf for a long period of time, they actually need to be cooked to death. And so you're losing all the nutrients in that processing. Now that is not true when we're talking about fresh vegetables that have been flash frozen. So I'm not talking about the mixtures of vegetables. I'm not talking about when you get a vegetable medley. Most of those have been blanched before they've been put in there. But I'm talking about flash frozen veggies. So here's the difference. When you get a flash frozen veggie, they can pick it right off the vine or pick it right out of the ground or whatever they're doing it, clean it, and flash freeze it without blanching it. When it is not flash frozen, then they actually have to blanch it before they freeze it. And that would be true if you were freezing your own veggies, if you don't have a way to flash freeze them. which you probably don't. If you do, I'm like totally jealous. But if you don't have a way to flash freeze them, then you are forced to blanch them before you put them in. Blanching is simply just giving them a hot water bath with a little bit of salt. So you blanch them, you dry them, and then you put them, and then you can freeze them. So that's true with most. Yeah, that's right. I'm talking about you, Blanche. That's right. Okay, so we're still on with the chicken down there. I need to let it go a little bit longer. I need to make sure that I'm not overcooking my asparagus. Now the liquid is gone. So here's how you know if you've overcooked your asparagus. I'm going to show you right now. Show you. I'm going to show you. Do you see that my asparagus is still level, that it's not drooping? You see that? Overcooked asparagus would be like this. It would look like this. It would be drooping. My asparagus is not. No, I do not do that actually. I do not blanch before I put those in because they're not in long enough. Blanching would be if you were going to put them in there and they were going to stay there for like 4, 5, 6 months. So you bought something in season or you bought something in bulk. Like a lot of time I will buy Brussels sprouts in bulk this time of year because I have a resource for them. So I'll buy them in bulk and I'll freeze them. And so in order to freeze them properly, they need to be blanched. It's going to give them a little bit of a hard coating in that ice. So, and keep them from getting mushy. If you don't do that when you try to cook them, they will actually be mushy. So, but you saw how my asparagus was nice and stiff and rigid still and wasn't droopy. If it's droopy, you've overcooked your asparagus and it's going to be slimy, quite frankly. When you bite into an asparagus like this, let me try to find the one that I just had. When you bite into an asparagus like this, it should actually still be crunchy. You see how that's crunchy? Yeah, it would be. Don't bake them in a bath of butter. Just eat them like this. They're fabulous. But it should be crunchy like this. Chicken's doing good. They should be crunchy when you bite into them. And there's the butter again. Butter is amazing. If you are eating a grass-fed butter, it is actually one of the fats that I would highly recommend for you. So don't be afraid of the butter. Just don't overcook your veggies. You can use the butter. I don't care about that. You can make a bath of butter and dip these in butter sauce if you want. That's not the problem. That butter is actually really healthy fat for you. And so I actually recommend it, but you just don't want to overcook these babies because that's when you lose all the nutrition. See how crunchy? Your asparagus should be crunchy. It should not be wilty, icky. All right, I'm going to pull the chicken out. It's an exciting time. I love asparagus. It is. It's a great way to get your family to eat veggies too. If they're reluctant to eating veggies, it's a great way to get them to do that. So here is my beautiful chicken breast. They are cooked to perfection. They are super juicy. Look what happens when I turn them over. Look how beautiful they are. Can you see that? Yeah, don't eat margarine. I recommend not eating margarine. Thank you for inviting followers. So there you go. So we have a quick dinner. I'm going to get a plate. Have you guys seen my Hawaii plates? If you look at my Facebook page and stuff, you see them every once in a while. See my Hawaii plates? I actually have them custom made. Each one is different. Aren't they lovely? This one says aloha. There's one with the surfer. There's, excuse me, there's one with the turtle, and there's one with the Hawaiian Islands. I had them custom made for me by a glass artist on the North Shore of Oahu. I love them. So let's plate up so you can see what it looks like. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put I'm making lots of noise. Holy cow. Lots of noise. I know. I love them. They're beautiful. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my basmati down on the plate. Normally I would let the chicken rest a little bit before. Yeah, good. That's good. That's a good thing. You don't want margarine in your house. It's no good for you. I would let the chicken rest for a little while, but see how beautiful it is with the seasoning just right on top? Put that right there. Grab some of these asparagus guys. Just like that. Look at that. A little S&P. A little S&P on there, and you are ready for dinner. So simple, so easy, incredibly, incredibly nutritious on that bed of rice. And again, you can flavor this. You could add a little lemon wedge on the side that you could squeeze on your chicken. You can squeeze on your chicken or your asparagus. You could add even a little orange if you wanted to just squeeze some citrus right on top of that. I know you guys are having a hard time seeing that. My lighting doesn't dictate that. So yeah, so there you go. Dinner in a flash, one skillet. Everybody is super happy. Trust me, when this meal hits the table, my husband is just smiling. He's just smiling because it is so, so good, and it's good for him. And I'm controlling the ingredients. I'm giving him simple pleasures in life, and food that is actually good for him, and me too, of course, because I'm eating it too. So there you go. Simple, easy. Back to Basics 101, one of my favorite dinners on the planet. So, do you guys have any questions? Can I answer any questions for you? Yeah, right? Actually, no, this is for dinner tonight. I'm just going to put this in the fridge. So, yes, you should eat something. Even if you're not hungry, you should be eating lunch. I'm going to eat lunch. Did you guys see on my Facebook page yesterday, I made a gigantic veggie sandwich. I'm going to make another one today because it was really, really good. So I'm going to have another veggie sandwich today. So yes, but I'm actually going to separate all this out, put it in containers, and put it in the fridge, and that'll be our dinner tonight. So because it's simple and easy, and all I have to do is just reheat it super fast. So yeah, super good. And again, you can add your own flavors and own flares to it. So yeah, it's so colorful and super, super yummy for you. Yeah, one of my favorite meals. I love asparagus. And again, you can do it with all kinds of veggies. And you could substitute the rice for quinoa. If you're not a rice eater, you could actually substitute the rice for a nice quinoa and make it amazing as well. Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for being here, Sally. It's good to see you. Okay, what time is it? 12:41. So, yes. So my husband was actually a very healthy eater. He actually would beg me to eat healthier. I was the one that was the crappy eater, not him. I was a fast food girl because that's just how my life has always been, because I've always been in a hurry. My entire life, I've been in a hurry. And so that's a great question. He was actually the one that was the healthy eater in the family. And he would make me dinners. I would be like crazy person running around with my head cut off like a crazy person. And he would actually make me slow down, and he would make me dinners when we were dating, and he would invite me over for dinner, and it was always a home cook, and it was always a veggie, a protein, and a whole grain. Always, every single time he cooked for me, it was always a veggie, a protein, and a whole grain every single time. Yeah, I know he's always been a really healthy eater. However, having said that, he did eat fast food, and I've always had a hard time of breaking him of that fast food habit. And he eats a lot less than he used to. But since my cancer diagnosis, I have been on a rampage about, not eating that kind of food and eating whole real food. And so because of that, he has backed off tremendously, and he makes small changes over time. So he was eating like Sara Lee wheat bread up until about 3 months ago. He was eating Sara Lee wheat bread, and I couldn't get him to change. And finally, I just started buying different kinds of bread and said, can we please explore a different kind of bread for you? Something that is a sprouted grain, because he eats toast every single morning, and butter. And so can we please, even if we have a smoothie, he eats toast. And so he's been doing it for 63 years. So you just let him go just let him eat the toast. But I did try to get him over to a more healthy type of toast. And so he is now into an Ezekiel bread that he really, really likes and enjoys. In fact, misses it when he doesn't have it. So yeah, but this is a journey. This is not an event. And this is one of the most important principles that I teach anybody when I'm coaching one-on-one, and I'm teaching anybody something about healthy eating. One of the first things we talk about is the fact that this is a process. This is not an event. It has taken me, almost 3 years. Oh my God, I'll be cancer-free 3 years this month. What? Awesome. Anyway, but it has taken 3 years to get us to the point that we are at right now. So I know, I haven't even thought about it. How awesome is that? Thank you. Yeah, 3 years in December. So, I know, so exciting. I'm very excited about that. It's funny because I'm not even nervous about my breast exam this year. I get a ultrasound every year, and normally for the past 2 years, I've been very nervous about it, and I'm not even nervous about it. So thank you. Happy rebirthday. That's right. But it's been a journey. This is not an event. This is a process, and it's a process that you have to learn and go through. You will get frustrated if you try to do it all at once. It's very frustrating, and everybody in your family gets mad at you, and you get mad at yourself. And that stress that you are putting on yourself is more. It is a beautiful feeling. Thank you, Lexi. But it is more dangerous. That stress and stressing out about food is more dangerous than any of the food that you're putting in your body. And I'm talking about any food. I'm talking about even if you eat at McDonald's every day, that stress is more dangerous than that food. So there's something to chew on. De-stressing. I'm actually teaching a class this month at a local natural grocers, and it's all about stress. I'm talking about de-stressing, and I talk mostly about cooking here and healthy principles here, but if you follow me on Facebook and you follow me in other places, you'll know that I talk a lot about de-stressing and taking the stress out of your life, because to me, stress is the most dangerous things that causes cancer, that causes disease, that causes breakdowns. It affects every single aspect of your life. So I always highly recommend that people work on their stress levels even before they work on their food levels. If you are a stress cadet, you should think about getting rid of that. Should we eat fermented foods before eating other foods to aid in digestion? Not fermented foods. You're probably getting that notion from taking a probiotic. If you're taking a supplement of a probiotic, absolutely, it should be eaten. It should be taken at least 30 minutes before you put food into your gut. However, if you're eating fermented foods, you can eat that right along. If you're drinking kombucha, if you're eating sauerkraut, if you're doing any of those things, you can eat that right along with your meal. In fact, one of my favorite things to do with this meal is to have a dollop of sauerkraut just right on top of that. It adds an excellent dimension to that. So that's probably what I'll do tonight, is add that sauerkraut. Hey, Karen, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here. So yes, so de-stressing is, in my opinion, more important than, and a lot of people need help with that. A lot of people need coaches with that. Just like you need a coach to get you through the food aspect of life, de-stressing is very, 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 very important factor in your health. Because remember, like I always talk about, your health is not just what you're shoving in your mouth. Okay, it plays a huge part in that, but the other parts of your health are your emotional health, your mental health, and your physical health. So you have to pay attention to all three of those aspects. If you're not, then you're missing part of the puzzle. So if you are eating like a perfect diet, I mean super clean, perfect diet, but you never exercise and you never move your body, that's a problem. You have to exercise. You have to move your body, even if it's just a simple walk in the afternoon, whatever it is. Your body wants to move and it needs to move. If you are doing both of those things, but you're a stress cadet and you're not getting any sleep and your emotional levels are all over the place, then you're missing a piece of the puzzle. So really, it's a fine balance between physical health, emotional health, and what was the other one I said? And mental health, sorry. I need some mental health, that's for sure. But it's I have too many things going on today, but it's a balance of those three things that contribute to your overall health. And if you're missing one of those, you're missing a piece of the puzzle. And it's a commitment. It is a commitment to not be a stress cadet. Trust me, I know, because I've been a stress cadet my entire life. I have not always walked in the light. I have lived in the darkness and been critical and superficial most of my life. And so changing that balance over to walking into the light and seeing the light and embracing the light, and stop being critical and stop being hyperactive about things that are not going perfectly perfect, have been something that I've had to shed off of myself. And it happened in my cancer journey. But my goal with you guys is to get you to a point to do that so that you never have cancer in the first place. I mean, I think that my cancer was, part of it was brought on by a lot of that stress that I was incurring into my life. So it's super important that you balance those things out and find that healthy balance. So yes, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But really it is. Those things are super important to your health. So your health isn't just the kinds of foods that you're putting into your body, and it's not just exercise. A lot of people don't pay attention to the food that they're putting in their body, and they just exercise thinking it's going to make them healthy. And that is a fallacy. You cannot do that. You have to have all three components, and it's work. And it's hard work, but it's you, and it's the only you get. So aren't you worth it? You're totally worth it, right? I mean, you're worth that work. You're worth that hard work. So, because if you aren't taking care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody else. That's always what I say. And so if you think it's selfish or you feel concerned about taking care of yourself, don't stop that right now, because you are the only you that you get. So yes, I just did an inspirational moment without even telling you I was going to do it. So there you go. Super simple food, super simple inspiration. I'm going to introduce myself one more time, and then I'm going to invite you guys personally to join me next Wednesday. So my name is Leslie. I have a website, gotokitchens.com. Please go check it out. Consider becoming a VIP. If you become a VIP, you get more access to me and a private Facebook page where I talk to my VIPs almost on a daily basis. So please consider signing up. It just takes an email. There's no cost. It's completely free. I do not bombard you. You get a newsletter every other Sunday morning, and that's it. You don't get anything else in your email. So please go over and sign up to become a VIP so we can talk more about health and wellness. Thank you so much, Lexi. Thank you, Lisa. And so, yes, so please go consider that. Then I want to invite you personally, each and every one of you, I want to invite you next Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be on blab.im. Oh, good. Yeah. We are besties, right? I thought we were. We're not. I'm so sad. Yes. And so, but go over and check it out. Blab.im. You can find me there at gotokitchens.com, or you can find the link on my Facebook page. So Go To Kitchens. Go to that Facebook page and you can sign up there, and then you can go sign up for the Blab. I'm doing a Blab with Evan from Summers Wellness. He and I are doing a Blab. He is an essential oil expert. He was just on here earlier today. He's an essential oil expert. And when I say expert, I mean expert. I mean, you can ask him any question and he's going to know the answer about essential oils. And I think that essential oils are a great proponent for health. I think they are an amazing tool to use for your health. And I want to share that knowledge with you guys. I know a lot about it, but Evan is the bomb diggity with essential oils. So you guys want to join us next Wednesday night at 6 p.m. So yes, I will do that for sure. Yes, I will send that event over to the VIPs. Thank you, Janet. Janie, I forget to do stuff like that all the time. I am not a social media maven. I am okay at social media, so sometimes I forget to share those things around, so I will definitely do that. So yes, yes, yes. Okay, so I want to share one quote with you guys, and it came to me from the Frank Lloyd Wright. I actually bought a magnet. If you saw last week my refrigerator, I have tons of magnets. Good. Yeah, Chastity. It's going to be an amazing. And you guys get to ask the questions. I'm just going to do a brief interview and let him introduce himself. And then you guys get to ask the questions from him. I mean, and you can hop in a seat there on Blab if you want and get all your questions answered about essential oils and how to use them safely. So I bought a magnet at the Frank Lloyd Wright Museum. I was just at Taliesin West. And this is what it says. And I just love this. Love is the virtue of the heart. Serenity is the virtue of the mind. mind. Courage is the virtue of the spirit, and decision is the virtue of the will. And then he calls that the organic commandment. And I just think that that is so beautiful and so appropriate for my life. You can screenshot that if you want. I think that that's so beautiful and so appropriate for my personal life and how I live. And I couldn't believe it when I read it on the magnet. I was like, that's gorgeous. Oh my gosh, I totally have to have that. And so I bought note cards. I bought all kinds of stuff that has this saying on it. I'll put it up there again, so if you want to screenshot it. I think this is a beautiful way to live. I think that it is an inspiring way to live. And your effect on others will be quite great with that type of inspiration in your life. So go out and live it. Love, serenity, courage, and decision. Amazing, amazing. Heart, mind, spirit, and will. Absolutely amazing ideas for living. So there you go. That's my true inspirational moment for the day. So I love you guys so much. You know that I love you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and being in my kitchen with me today. I will be back on Monday at noon Mountain Time. I don't think I have any scopes scheduled for this weekend, but I may be around, so just maybe here and there, I may be around. So if I'm doing something interesting in the kitchen, I will definitely scope it with you guys. You know that I never leave you out of the loop on that. So so maybe I'll be around on the weekend. If not, I will be back here Monday for sure, for sure. Next week, we are talking about the top 5 cancer-busting foods. So these are foods that I get in my diet every single week, sometimes daily even. And so I want to go over those with you guys and talk to you about the do's and don'ts and the top 5 foods that are going to bust cancer right out of your body so that you never get it in the first place. I don't ever want you to have a t-shirt that I have. I have a t-shirt and I don't want anybody else to have it. I am the only one that can have that t-shirt. And unless you're a cancer patient or a survivor, is the only way that you can have that t-shirt. And I have one and it says survivor on it. And I don't want any of you guys, unless you've had cancer, if you've never had cancer before, I do not want you to have that t-shirt. I'm the only one who has that t-shirt. Yes, it's going to be good scopes next week. Yes, so good scopes next week. You guys tune in. We're going to be breaking it down. So yay, good. I can't wait for you to be there. Love you guys. Have an amazing weekend. Just go out and do something amazing this week. And remember to smile at strangers because it may be the only smile they see. All right. Love you guys, and I will see you next week. Bye.